Welcome, everybody, to the 2020 Winter Solstice celebration presented by Sunday Assembly, Silicon Valley. My name is Amy Baldwin, and I am your host this very fine evening. Now, before we get started for real, I'd like to say a word. Wow. Just wow. My impulse was to scream instead, because this year has been a year. Am I right? Many changes, many losses. But I have learned things as well. For example, I know that it is possible to survive only on other people's leftover Chinese food. I can now recite by heart the entire 368 item horror movie list on Popcorn Flicks streaming TV. And I have grown intimately acquainted with every square inch of the interior of my house. But I have forgotten how to unlock my car, which is outside. Speaking of outside, the days are growing shorter. This is the dark time of the year, and we can learn to appreciate the darkness. I like the dark. I like it best outside at a new moon, during a new moon, and far away from city lights, because I can always light a candle. The dark calls us to rest and reflect. The winter solstice is the Northern Hemisphere's planetary candle. Just as the Earth does not stop its revolution around the sun, spring surely comes, and this year shall pass away. So may we grow into being our better selves. Come, let us celebrate together. And this poem is called Yule Song. When the moon rides high in the wintry sky and the icy wind wolves wail, when the autumn leaves lay adrift on the ground or fly on a blustery gale, then gather we here at the end of the year, the coming year to greet, and our people who come from far away, this one cold night we meet. Outside it's stark. The cold and dark could freeze thy shivering soul. But here in the light, all's warm and bright as we pass the wassail bowl with song and dance and telling of tales till the winter night be done and join our hands at the break of day to greet the newborn sun. So please repeat after me with feeling and a fist pump. Hail Yule!
Hail Yule.
All right. So let's continue with the song. The lyrics should be in the chat box, and singing helps you feel better if you stand, but rise only if you are willing and able. We won't be able to hear you because you're muted, but don't let that stop you. Nevertheless, please sing loudly. We love your energy and we can see it in your faces, even if we can't hear your voices. This music video was prepared by Aiko Yep, so thank you, Aiko, and everyone that shared their photos from the past year. Here we go with Seasons of Love from the musical Rent.
25,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter and strife. 525
in the bridges he burned, or the way that she died.
Sing out, though the story never ends. Let's celebrate, remember a year in the life of a friend. Love, you've got to remember love. You know that love is a gift from above. Share love, give love, measure your life in love. Seasons of love, seasons of measure your life in love.
Thank you, band. That was wonderful. And thanks to all of you for singing from home. So jazz hands, everybody. Excellent. All right. So Richard would like to share selections from the poem, Time Wrote the Rocks. Indeed it did. So over to you, Richard.
And this poem comes to us through the hands of Raymond Arnold. I'm starting at the second verse. There are those who name the stars, who watch the sky by night, seeking out the darkest place to better see the light. Long ago, when isolation broke his weary will, Galileo did recant, the earth is moving still. High above the mountaintops, where only distance bars, the truth has left its footprints in the dust between the stars. We may watch and study, we may shudder and deny. Humans write a book of night. Light wrote the sky. And we who listen to the stars, or walk the dusty grade, or break the tiny atoms down to see how they are made, seek new theories, seek new song to help us understand. We wonder most profoundly when we try to understand. Deep in flower and flesh, in star and soil and seed, the truth has left its living word for anyone to read. So turn and look where best you think the story is unfurled. Humans write a book of truth. Truth writes the world.
Thank you, Richard. Love that. That is great. So now I have abandoned physical presents for Christmas because I don't need another fruitcake and tchotchke and scented candle. But the gift of love is great. So we have generous souls willing to step up and do their thing by creating wonderful memories for us. So again, thank you, Richard, for that very wonderful recitation. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm introducing you to our sharing showcase. So with your gifts, a thank you in advance. First up is Mike McGee with his story.
Hello, everyone. This story is a true story. It's the greatest story I've ever heard in my life. In 2008, May of 2008, I was the best man at a wedding at a synagogue, and I had never been inside a synagogue before. Growing up Catholic, there was no need at the time, and so I ended up having we ended up having a very lovely dinner in the bride's parents' house, and her father came over to tell us a story. And I was sitting at a table with a bunch of poets from Chicago, New York, the Bay Area. We're all in LA. And he comes over to tell us the story, and he says, we just had the wedding practice a few hours earlier at the synagogue. And he says, a month ago, me and the missus went to a wedding. Some family friends of ours were getting married at the same synagogue you guys just came from. And after the wedding, the couple was this young couple. The groom was from New York and the bride was from Seattle. And they had both moved to LA to get into the film industry, and they were working sort of behind the scenes in the film industry in LA. And they met on set of a film and fell in love and were getting married that afternoon. And the wedding happened and everybody had a good time. But what was really special about this wedding was that the oldest living members of both of their families had flown in for this wedding. His grandfather, who had just recently been widowed, and her grandmother flew down from Seattle. So his grandfather flew in from New York, and her grandmother flew in from Seattle. Both of them just so happened to be in their late 80s, and they both just so happened to be widowed very recently after 40 and 50 years of marriage. And so everyone was kind of excited for these two to meet at this reception, that this was going to be a pretty cool thing to have the oldest, matriarch and patriarch of the families meeting. And so at the reception, the grandmother of the bride is sitting at a table with a couple of her daughters, a couple of her granddaughters, and I think even maybe a great grandson or what have you. And the groom's grandfather gets up and sort of shuffles his way over to the table, and everyone in the room at this reception is sort of just sort of excitedly watching this meeting of two leaders of these families finally. And the grandfather, the groom, walks over and he says, "Hello, my name is Joseph." She says, "Hello, Joseph, I'm Emma." He says, may I join you?" She says, "Please." And she moves a seat out for him. He sits down, they shake hands, and they just start some idle chit chat. And her daughters and granddaughters are listening, but trying not to eavesdrop while also eavesdropping, because this is so cute to them that these two old people are meeting for the first time. And so they're talking, and about 10-15 minutes goes by, and finally he kind of leans in and he says, "Emma, I hate to press you, but is it true that you were in Auschwitz?" And she says, "Yes, Joseph, I was in Auschwitz." And he says, "I only ask because I too was in Auschwitz." And then she stops and she just looks at him and she just kind of goes white. And she says, "Joseph, it's me. It's your Emma." And he looks at her and he goes white, and he realizes that this is the woman he married before the war came to their village. This is the woman that he had spent so much of his young life being in love with and finally marrying. And as the Germans were rolling into their village, they decided that maybe we should hold off on having kids until this thing blows over. And it never blew over. And they were both taken in, and they were split up, and she was sent to the women's camp. He was sent to the men's camp many, many miles away. And they lived in the camps, and they survived in the camps for a couple of years. And when the war was over and both their camps were liberated, they looked for each other, and they just kept missing each other. And he lost every family member he had, and she lost every family member she had. And they were never able to find each other. So they mourned, they spent a couple of years, and they moved on. And they realized, since neither one of them had anything left in Europe, they both decided that they would move to the US and start a new life and start over. She moved to Seattle, or eventually ended up in Seattle, and he moved to New York. He got remarried, she got remarried. He had children, she had children. And now their children's children were getting married together in Los Angeles to each other. And that celebration, that reception, became the greatest celebration of life and coincidence and love and humanity that anybody in that room had ever experienced. And being told this story after just being in the room where it took place made me realize that no matter what you believe in, no matter what you feel, there is a connection between human beings that is really undeniable as long as we're willing to listen. That's the greatest story I've ever heard. It's the coolest coincidence I've ever heard. And I just thought it'd be something really special to share with you all tonight. Thank you.
Wow, that is an awesome story. Wow, yes, and your comment at the end, yeah, I don't think I can say anymore. That was wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, and it gives me hope. It really does. So, next up, we are going to have Elizabeth singing My Favorite Things.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with noodles, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes, snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters that melt into springs. These are a few of my favorite things. When the dog bites, when the bee stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so
Excellent. One of my favorite songs from one of my favorite musicals. And thank you, Elizabeth, for that. It's nice to remember those favorite things when we're kind of dealing with everything we're dealing with. All right. Next, John tells us how his family has been cooking pizza in their wood-fired oven. The new oven.
This is him making a pizza. What kind is this?
I don't know. Maybe one that's
This is where he puts the dough that he starts making it the night before.
We'll do a margarita.
Little 8-inch. Right? 8 inches.
Yeah. 8 to 10. Probably 8.
And he's making 8 of them today. And we have some guests over. Just one family with masks. Only the best ingredients. Going in.
Dog.
Taking the pizza out, and what kind is this?
It's a spicy one.
And then this one is arugula and fig.
And pear.
And pear.
And gorgonzola.
Well, maybe Amy will power up her mic here in a sec.
Am I okay to go? Okay, sorry. I was just going to say that I saw a comment go by about how you can't go wrong with pizza, and I think that's true. And I love both arugula and figs. Never thought of putting them together though. So that pizza looks delicious, and I'm coming over for one day. So, all right. Next up is Aiko and Ben Yep with a Santa baby video.
Santa baby, just slip some candy under the tree for me. Been an awful good mom, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, vacation out to Honolulu, JetBlue. I'll wait up for you, dear Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Think of all the fun I've missed. Think of all the doggies that I haven't kissed. Next year could be just as good if you check off my Christmas list. Santa baby, I want an Xbox with all the games unlocked. Been a good dad all year, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Santa baby, there's one more thing I really do need, the deed to a water slide park, Santa baby, so hurry down the chimney tonight. Come and play more games with me. Get the highest scores that you'll ever see. I really do believe in you. Let's see if you believe in me. Santa baby, forgot to mention one little thing I'll bring. Like when you call on the phone, Santa baby, so hurry down my chimney tonight.
Yay! Great big jazz hands. Woo! That was so cute. Thank you for that very, very much. I like the way you fitted him into the Santa Claus suit. He was in the playpen. That was great. So next up we have Greg Coladonato, who's sharing a healthy granola recipe live. So hey Greg, what have we got?
Hello. Hi, everyone. So for a number of years, since I'm Californian, naturally I like granola. And so I've been trying to find one that was healthy for a long time, and I never could find one in the store. So I have been making a granola for a number of years and bringing it around to friends. And, when we spend the night somewhere, I bring it. And everybody loves the granola. And I thought I'd share the recipe. But then after I committed to sharing the recipe, I realized when I tell my friends the recipe, they say it sounds too complicated to make. So what I'm really going to do, in addition to sharing the recipe, is if anybody chats me that they want some, I'll send you a care package with a half pound of this granola. Okay. And it goes like this. It's 4 cups. It's just so you know ahead of time, it's vegan and it's delicious and very healthy. 4 cups of oats, 2 cups of slivered almonds and raw sunflower kernels, a cup of avocado oil, a half cup of pepitas, which is another fancy name for pumpkin seeds, pepitas, hemp hearts, wheat germ, and flax meal, a 1/4 cup of chia seeds and honey, a tablespoon of vanilla and a half tablespoon of cinnamon, and you put it in the oven for 25 minutes at 350 degrees. Now, you're right, there's like a dozen ingredients. So chat me your mailing address and I'll send you some for this winter solstice.
Yum.
Yum. Yum indeed. That does sound good. You'll get my order real soon.
All right.
All right. So Ginny and Krista Albee are sharing the classic song, Winter Wonderland. Here's Ginny and Krista.
Sleigh bells ring, are you listening? In the lane, snow is glistening. Beautiful sight, we're happy tonight, walking in a winter wonderland.
Gone away is the bluebird, here to stay is the new bird. He sings a love song as we go along, walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he's Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job when you're in town.
Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire
to face unafraid the plans that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland.
In the meadow we can build a snowman and pretend that he's Parson Brown.
He'll say, are you married? We'll say, no, man, but you can do the job when you can do the job when you can do the job when you're in town.
Later on, we'll conspire as we dream by the fire
to face unafraid the plans that we've made, walking in a winter wonderland. Walking in a winter, walking in a winter, walking in a winter wonderland.
Yay! That was excellent. Thank you so much for the mellow music. That was great. All right. So thank you very much, Ginny and Krista. So presenting Krista, David, and Hayden's Year in Review.
It's Easter right in a one-horse open sleigh. Horse, give me a hug when I'm sad. Da 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 don't you dare. No, I first started. And spinning you around.
Congratulations, Echo and Ben.
Yes, congratulations!
Let it go. Let it go.
Hi, baby.
Hello. I'm on a walk.
Again.
Kaden, can I have a prescription? Do you have a penton, please? Thank you. Bye. I can show you the world. Mama, you're a good man. I love you.
I love you.
What is that?
I don't know. It looks like gooey stuff.
It's gooey stuff.
I love my jack-o'-lantern. In so many ways we're different, but in so many ways we're the same.
You want a mask? That's a pretty pile of leaves there. Oh, I think it's moving. Oh no! The leaf monster is attacking with his body! Whoa. Whoa, we need to go!
Oh, good job, Dada.
Oh!
Darn, guys. Mama, you did it.
Where did I? We got this.
No, we don't.
Yes, yes we do.
I don't know.
Well, we will.
Kids.
We will improve.
Kids probably.
Wait. Okay.
All right, there you go. Everybody's happy.
Good job. We did it.
There is, I mean, that kid was mastering that microphone, I gotta say. He's going to be great. So, all right, this month we have special guest performers, and here are the students at Broadway Babies and Kids in San Carlos singing Marshmallow World. Take it away, kids.
It's a marshmallow world in the winter, when the snow comes to cover the ground. It's a time for play, it's a whipped cream day. I wait for it the whole year round. Those are marshmallows, cloudy and friendly, in the arms of the evergreen trees. And the sun is red, like a pumpkin's head. It shines so your nose won't freeze. The world is a snowball, see how it goes. That's how it goes whenever it snows. The world is a snowball, just for a song. So get out and roll it along. It's a young, yummy world made with sweethearts. Take a walk with your favorite pals. It's a sugar date. What if spring is late? In winter it's a marshmallow world. The world is a snowball, see how it goes. That's how it goes whenever it snows. The world is a snowball, just for a song. So get out and roll it along. It's a young, yummy world made for sweethearts. Take a walk with your favorite pals. It's a sugar date. What if spring is late? In winter it's a marshmallow world. In winter it's a marshmallow world. In winter it's a marshmallow world. Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la.
Yay. Yay. Love that. Just love watching kids do their thing. It's wonderful. Yeah, I remember my ballet days. So, yes, excellent kids. Excellent. Get out there and conquer Broadway. All right, Fausto has a video about his watercolor hobby. You're up, Fausto.
A few years ago, a friend of mine gave me this watercolor set, and it's so small and so nice that I'm like, I'll give watercolor a try. So at that time I was in Canada, and of course I was surrounded by all these beautiful mountain sceneries, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's really fun to do, and it takes a lot of time, but I was looking for a job at a time, and here is some wildlife and some different lighting, and I realized the watercolor can be very delicate but also give a lot of contrast, and that's why I really enjoy playing with it. And this one is when I really realized, like, oh, this is looking nice, and some of my relatives were like, oh, cool, can I get one? So I thought, I'll print them out. So I made little thank you cards, and give it away. And I attached a little quote in the back from some poetry I tried to write, and this is whatever survived the translation. I really liked, my favorite one. I put a nice phrase that says, "Since young we domesticate our freedom to forget its mountains." And I think it really fits the subject here. And then I'm like, this thing is so compact that, I can take it on a trip and make it part of my vacation. Like, if I have time, it doesn't take much space. So here is when Jasmine and I were on a trip to Egypt, and, here's me sketching in a temple, and, spending, the extra hour, and like somebody got interested, and, even with the language barrier, he could appreciate what I was trying to do. And here is what I was making at the time. It's unfinished. I don't spend the time on each one, but I realized that just the act of sitting down and sketching really gives you the chance to soak in like a scenery. Like, we went on this felucca ride and realized like this moment is so beautiful, like you want to soak it in. And so, just sitting down, pulling out the paper and colors, like really gives you the time to mindfully embrace the moment, and just make it more memorable and appreciate every detail. So I started taking it on all my trips, and this is a trip to China, downtown nighttime view, and this is one of really like that, got in the frame, and it's part of my living room now. And this is my latest project. I'm making this redwood scene. It's not finished yet, but I really want to make a California collection, because I think, spending the time making art really gives you more appreciation for the subject. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed, my little art.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful art, Fausto. It's you're very talented at this, and it's really appreciated. Loved it all. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope, I don't know, maybe you could display them someday when we're live again. That would be wonderful. Okay, so next up is, me. So I belong to a writing group, and we have a monthly prompt. So November's prompt of this year was Things in Space, and this is what I wrote. It is a poem. Sally and I awoke in a fright. No sound was heard. Around us, dark night. Beneath us, a bunk. Above us, another. What is this place? She asked of her brother. That's me. And I said, don't worry, no fear. Let me check out if we're there or we're here. So saying, I rose, stepped into my slippers, guarded and cautious and not very chipper. The walls, they were metal and cold to the touch. I did not like that, no, not at all much. My fumbling fingers a button they found. Confession, I pressed it. And a lens window unwound. Gobsmacked doesn't even begin to describe the panic that crept all over my hide. The blackest of black greeted my eyes, dotted with lights of all shapes and size. Hello, sniped Sally. John, are you still there? Turn on the light ere you give me a scare. Keep calm, carry on, I replied to my sis. Toddle over, take a look at this spacey abyss. We stood there astonished, feet stuck to the floor, until came a tap, 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 tap on the door. Before I could reach it, the door opened wide, and into the room, two beings did glide. Red jammies, big feet, and all covered in fur. They raced around the room in a whirl and a blur. Clearly their manners were not debonair, and the weirdest of all was their wild bright blue hair. They stopped and they bowed and they said, how do you do? Let our names now be known, Thing 1 and Thing 2. We're here for a party. We hope you have tea, but cookies and cake are provided by we. Cucumber sandwiches will have to forego. No vegetable gardens in space, don't you know? How did we get here? I demanded at once. Are you someone's wacky publicity stunts? Am I dreaming? Are you, Sal? I'm unable to see. Oh, John, she replied. Please sit down and drink tea. It's a lovely idea. Let's have a rum bun and a nice little chat with Thing 2 and Thing 1. They took that to mean their show was a go. In a flick and a trice, all was ready, and so we all took a seat and shook out our nappies, and for a brief instant, we were terribly happy, till I looked about and asked, where's the tea? Thing 1 slapped his head and said, silly me, the teapot's at home. We'll just suck on tea leaves. Thing 2 said, no prob. We can still have our meal. Thing 1, much later with you I will deal. Now I shall steer to coordinates 5 R's, where a teapot is floating between here and Mars. Bert Russell's the bloke who knew it existed. Of logic profound, his brain was consisted. In a trice we were there, by hyperdrive zoomed, and brought in the pot to the tea party room. We ate and we sipped, all was well, all was fine. Agreed, we all had a very nice time. Sally and I were returned to our beds, and visions of tea cakes danced in our heads. On the morn, we looked at each other and wondered, was it real or did our brains go asunder? Whichever it was, we hope that you do get a chance to sip tea with Thing 1 and Thing 2. Thank you. Thank you very much. I'll be here all week. All right. So thanks to all of you who shared your delightful showcase items. That was really a lot of fun, and my happiness level has leaped up several levels. So yes. Now, from a science perspective, the sun doesn't need our help to start its northern hemisphere ascent into the sky once more. But the symbolic nature of ritual can have a deep and personal influence on our mood and awareness of nature and sense of human history. Therefore, we are virtually lighting the candle that will show up in a little bit. And I am lighting a real one with, as my 3-year-old daughter expressed it, fire on it. So if you have a candle ready, please light it now while we have a brief meditation. The candle signifies coming out of the dark days, putting the past year behind us, and turning our gaze to new hopes for the new year. So hold and ponder these things in your heart, and please repeat after me. Hail the sun. Enjoy the calm for 2 minutes. Please raise your voice in song once more. At our winter solstice party last year, we sang Imagine by John Lennon. As we begin to hope and plan for the next year, we thought it fitting to come back to this song. So this music video is by Elizabeth, and thanks to Oleg Yarushin on YouTube for the piano track. And if you're going to sing along, I always suggest that you stand because it makes you feel better when you sing. As you know, Willie came.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Oh, imagine some countries. Is it hard to do? Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. Maybe for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will be as one.
So after last year's winter solstice celebration that we did, I came to a new appreciation of that song, and I'm very, very happy that we got the chance to sing that again. Okay. So thank you, band, and thank you all for joining from home. I loved your energy joined across this video stream. And next up, Bill Hathaway will give us a summary of some of the Life Happens events submitted throughout the year.
Hello, folks. We unfortunately couldn't get access to some of the early ones before we went into pandemic, but this will be a brief run through of some of the Life Happens. We'll also post the full slides with all the ones that we're able to capture. In April, Gordon and Lisa's son Aaron and his lady Savannah were married. They were hoping to have a more traditional wedding in Carmel Valley, but instead they did it in New Haven Town Hall with parents zooming in, and then they hosted a Zoom ceremony later with a bunch of people from across the country. And Gordon and Lisa love their new daughter-in-law and couldn't be more thrilled. Ben and Aiko welcomed baby Cedar into the world on February 13th, and their lives are now even better. And they want to express how thankful they are to be part of the Sunday Assembly community, and thank everyone for how everyone has helped them out. And there are photos available. There's a link in the presentation if you want to see them. In June, Jasmine graduated from her master's program, and Fausto arranged a surprise party with a bunch of friends and family and was able to create a joyous moment out of it. In June, Elizabeth and John had celebrated their 10th anniversary. Jean mentioned that she's heard from her multiracial nephews about their experiences with aggressive cops, but she's feeling optimistic now because mayors, city councils, corporations, and fellow Americans now seem to be paying attention to the issue of racial justice. Lisa was a member of the month for the San Jose Spotlight, which is a local independent award-winning news journal. And you can see answers to those questions if you contact her, and she can send you an email version of the online journal. Kent's mother passed away on Memorial Day. It's been a struggle, but things will get better. The Santa Clara City Council dedicated their last meeting to her for all she had done for the community. Sylvia turned 3 on July 24th, and she could then confidently ride her tricycle. Steve is excited that the California State Park System has reactivated his research permit, and that's what allows him to go out and record the nature sounds that we often hear during our assemblies. Maya helped her parents celebrate their 53rd wedding anniversary this week, or in August. But Laura and Mark got a new used electric car to replace their older electric vehicle, and they hope they never need to buy gasoline again. And in October, Fausto had quit his job and is looking to start a new one. But it's a little weird since he's never met anyone in person. It's all just been over Zoom. And I can definitely relate to that. I've got some people working for me that I've never met in person, and it's been 7 months. Lincoln climbed Disaster Peak, which is 102 on his list of Sierra climbs, and he got a smooch on the summit. Krista, Caden, and David tried to have as much safe Halloween celebrating as possible, so they made Halloween cookies, visited a pumpkin patch, carved a Winnie the Pooh pumpkin, which I think is adorable, and they dressed up and went for a Halloween scavenger hunt walk. And that's it. And we will we'll share the full set of slides out in a moment. Thank you.
All right, so we are nearing the end of our program, but before we move on to dancing and chatting, we want to make sure you know about 2 upcoming events. The pandemic has made it impossible for our Sunday Assembly communities to gather in person, so for the first time ever, Sunday Assemblers from all over the world will come together for one massive event on Saturday the 19th from 9 p.m. in Amsterdam to 12 p.m. PST in the United States to 9 a.m. the next day in New Zealand. So join your fellow assemblers online. There will be singing, talks, and the sharing of good tidings with our global community as we bring 2020 to a close. Sunday Assembler founder Sanderson Jones and Sunday Assembly Nashville organizer Adam Newton will co-host the event as Sunday Assembly chapters from around the world contribute holiday songs, readings, and performances. And I am so there, hopefully for however long it lasts without going to sleep. Also, don't forget to join our chapter again on Sunday, January 10th at 11 a.m. when Laurie Smith will be talking about how to find the balance between being assertive without being aggressive when we communicate. So see you then. Before we move on, let's thank the many people who made this event happen. Jazz hands, please, for our presenters, our folks at the organizer meetings, the tech people, thumbs up, who run our online meetings, writers of our newsletter and media, our band. Thank you so much. You are all the best. Before we close, I would like you all to take a deep breath. We're going to go inhale for 4 counts and exhale for 6. And we're going to do this more than once, but not more than 3. So first exhale. And relax your hands and inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 1, 2. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, I'm feeling a bit lightheaded. So just as we started with a poem, we're going to end with one. This is called The Shortest Day, and it was written by Susan Cooper. This poem is a beloved tradition and is recited at the annual San Francisco Revels. And maybe all the revels around the world does this poem. At the end, we will shout, "Welcome Yule." Make it loud. So, the shortest day. And so the shortest day came and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing, dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees. They hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight this shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And so do we, here, now, this year and every year. Welcome Yule. Welcome Yule! So our ending song is What Christmas Means to Me by Stevie Wonder. Our music video is Courteous of Krista. Thank you, Krista. This is a great song. So feel free to stand, dance, sing along as you are willing and able. Loudly, remember, loudly.
Oh yeah, candles burning low, lots of mistletoe, lots of snow and ice, everywhere we go. Choir singing carols right outside my door. All these things and more. Oh, that's what Christmas means to me, my love. Christmas means to me, my love. Oh, yeah. And you know what I mean. I see your smiling face like I've never seen before. Even though I love you madly, it seems I love you more. The little cards you give me will touch my heart for sure. All these things and more, darling. Oh, that's what Christmas means to me, my love. Oh, yeah. I feel like running wild, as anxious as a little child. Reach beneath the mistletoe, kiss you once and then some more, and wish you a Merry Christmas, baby. Oh, and such happiness in the coming year. Oh, baby, let's deck the halls with holly, sing sweet silent night, fill the tree with angel hair and pretty, pretty lights. Go to sleep and wake up just before daylight, and all these things and more, baby. Oh, that's what Christmas means to me, my love. Oh, baby, baby. Lots and lots of snow. Christmas bells are ringing. Christmas choir singing.
So that is the end of our main program, and you are very welcome to stick around for the dance rooms in a variety of music genres, from swing to rock to pop and holiday. Awesome. Remember, for the new year and always, live better, help often, and wonder more. Thank you all for coming. Have a happy holiday, everybody.